that is because when you sit back against your chair, which is fine, you're not as engaged in terms of your pelvic floor and your core muscles. I'm going to spotlight my video so that I'm all that you see. And okay. Again, sitting in a particular way, edge of your chair, so that your pelvis, your what they call your sits bones, your buttock bones, are plugging in. And just feel for a moment, just do this little pelvic tilt thing, tilt forward, tilt back. And just notice how just rolling back and forth on those buttock bones changes your spine. So what's often seen, and I've been talking about it a lot, is top heaviness is where a lot of our imbalance comes from. If we're holding ourselves up here and we're walking sort of like this, at any moment we can fall over, right? So we want to not be grabbing up here to try and keep an upright body. Instead, we want it to come from pelvic positioning. So just do this a couple of times. Tilt back and sort of slouch. And notice how the whole spine crumples a bit. And then tip forward and notice how the spine lengthens a bit. And you can go too far in either direction, but test that. Just test that a few times. Collapse and arch. And I keep getting up because I got to let people in here. So, but you keep doing it. Even if I stop doing what I told you to do, you keep doing it. Now, what you're looking for while you're doing tilt in either direction is the middle. Now, find the middle. Crown of head, known as bai hui, or the positive end of the battery. Hui yin, the negative end of the battery, is the perineum, that spot right in between there in the pelvic floor. Align those 2 points. Notice that if you align those 2 points, then you do not have to, just mute. You do not have to hold yourself up with muscle tension. That's a big piece of Qigong and Tai Chi. Nothing extra. Nothing extra. When my posture is suffering because I'm not aligning it correctly, then I have to put a bunch of extra in my head and neck to keep my eyes level with the field, right? But if I align through pelvic movement, align my energetic channel from Bai Hui to Hui Yin, and the central line known as Chong Mai, the central thrusting vessel right through the middle of us, then nothing extra is needed. And you can just be. Shoulders can finally relax instead of all this that we're doing, right? So soft. Take one hand, turn the palm up. Take the other hand, lay it in that hand, and lightly touch your thumbs together. It's a classic Zen meditation position, or Buddhist meditation position, or Taoist meditation position. And let's just take about 2 minutes breathing. So of course you've been breathing all day, right? But probably somewhat mindlessly, not attending to it. So taking a moment where we've arranged this body so we don't have to think about it, we don't have to forcibly do anything with it. And we can really simplify down to just those base level elements. Close the eyes if you're comfortable with it. Notice how just closing your eyes feels nourishing. It feels regenerative. It takes this energy of perception that was going out and turns the light around and pours it into your own mind, emotional layer, and body. Observe your breath. We don't even really need to change the breath much. Just observe it. Watch what it's doing and consider the idea that you can get out of the way of the breath, right? Just what we were talking about earlier in regards to the change in administration, right? The political thing, and how the stress that everyone has been feeling for so long is in the tissues, it's in the nervous system, and we got to consciously unravel it, release it, soften. So just softening and getting out of the way and letting the body do its thing. It's going to breathe for you. Final minute here, possibly you just invite or encourage your breath to grow a little longer, maybe with that inhale, a nourishing bringing in, maybe a hold of the breath, this saturation. Then the exhale is a letting go of staleness, tension, waste, emptiness. Don't be afraid to pause in the emptiness, a sort of deprived state, like fasting is good for us. Fast the breath. And then when it's time, you let that breath come in, you drink it in, enjoy it, savor it, hold, saturating your system. When it feels appropriate, just release. Breath melts out. Holding the breath empty again, not being greedy for breath, but being interested in emptiness, nothingness, valuable. Inhaling when it's time. We'll just do another 5 breaths like this. Notice this trains you not to rush. Now we could spend 20 minutes in this breathing state, but we won't. But I encourage you to do that on your own. Just sit, breathe, look inward, feel your nervous system, regulate, calm, become a master of that, especially when you're dealing with things like Parkinson's and other nervous system issues. You got to become a master of your own stress reactions, right? Now take your hands onto your knees, spinal movements, sliding the hands forward, but round the back. So you sort of tip the pelvis back, open all those gates, dropping the chin, feel all the neck vertebra open. Then slide the hands back, lift the heart, lift the chin, and arch the back. Pull the elbows back, shoulder blades back. And we'll do one more. Slide the hands forward. Can you feel all 5 low back vertebrae open? All 12 thoracic, all 7 neck open in the back. Then come back to neutral. Feel that neutral. Note that we're going through neutral and then going too far into an arch. And then releasing that and settling to neutral. Twists. Just do one each way. Left hand grabs right knee. Right hand comes up to right hip. Turn the chest, shoulders, and head to the right. And just think of this like you're winding the low back, then the middle back, upper back, neck. Use your hands to just get you a little deeper. And then release. Come back to center. Switch your hands. Turn. And release. Neutral. Now we want side bends of the spine as well. So hang your arms. Heavy head falls to the right. Some of you might want to stop right here. Others might want to go a little further, reaching this right arm down. You might also then let the left elbow come up, possibly. Oh, if that feels good to your shoulder, go into that side bend. And then let's droop the hand and come back to center. See if you can sort of droop your way back to the middle and then droop your way to the other side. And just go only as far as, again, this word appropriate. What's appropriate on this round or this day or this week or month or year can change. It can open up over time. Let's do one more to each side. Just notice maybe on this round, there's maybe just a smidgen more room. So again, what I love about these practices is that they are a meditation in action, because you can't just mindlessly repeat movements that a teacher is doing. Instead, you got to go, is that enough? Oh, actually, I got a little more room. Oh, I went too far, back off, right? All of that is mindfulness. It's being present. It's paying attention. And let's come back to middle. Now, head and neck. We've been working on this for the last couple of weeks. Rest your hands. First movement is also the last movement. Turn your head and look to the right. Back to center and turn to look to the left. And just do that a few times. So notice how this feels. Notice where you feel stuck. Notice where your range is. Now, with this same flow, what we change is now as you look to one side, look slightly down behind you, very slight. The chin should drop. Then when you come across, look slightly up in front and then down to the other side. And then slightly up in front and slightly down to the other side. Continue. Remember, you do not have to go fast. You might do 1 rep for every 3 that I do. That is 100% fine. But it is your responsibility, right, as the practitioner, especially in a group setting like this. Now, the next time you're looking one way, then you do the opposite of that, where you look down in front and slightly up behind. Down in front, slightly up behind. Continue. Noticing that you can do this, that up and down are relative terms. If your neck was stiff, you would look only a little bit down and a little bit up. But as it opens, some of you might find you want to look way down, way up, way down. Good. And then we finish with that first exercise, just right across the middle. And just notice, some of you may notice, oh, a little more range. A little more space, a little less crunchiness perhaps. And finishing, and we come back to the middle. So that's the first little piece of the head and neck module. The next one is this circle. Watch me do one. I'm going off to the right, back slightly, around to the left, forward slightly, and again. So do the smallest that you can do first. Just the head, like a little floating bobblehead. And then spiraling slightly larger circles as you go. Based on your range, you will find resistance. You will find an appropriate size of circle. Some of you might, as you open up, you start to feel a little of that little crunchiness, a little bit of that tissue. The barnacles, as I like to call them, little barnacles on the tissue. And that's okay to experience them. Make sure you're going slow enough to be safe. On this last circle around, let your head hang in front, kind of like you're looking straight down at the floor. And then the head rises up like it's being pulled by a string. Then we go the other way. The head falls slightly to the left, slightly back, slightly around to the right, slightly forward, circles. Continue. So whatever is appropriate for you, you get slightly larger and slightly larger still. And again, remember, this is all meditation because you're paying attention to the present moment. You're not thinking about someone else, some other concern or fantasy or whatever it may be that gets us derailed. You're just right in the present with your head and neck. Drop the head in front on that last circle and rise. Shoulders. Drop both arms alongside you. Bring those legs close together. We're going to lift the right shoulder blade high And then most important, melt it to the bottom. Left shoulder blade lift high and down. Both shoulder blades. Think of this as you're touching the top of a circle. You're going right down through the middle of the circle now to the bottom of the circle. Try that again. Top of a circle and bottom of a circle. Now, right shoulder blade only. I'm just turning so you can see it. Forward, so you're coming forward and up on the front of a circle to the top, then back and down the back side of a circle to the bottom of that circle. Forward and up, back and down. What I often find when I'm doing this exercise, anything with the shoulder blades, I want to let my head feel free to chin down or turn the head away or turn the head towards it, because I'm pulling on a lot of the neck and shoulder barnacles that tie into the skull, that tie in the back, right in the thoracic area. So there's very natural sort of liberate your skull while you're doing your shoulder blade work. Switch directions. Now we go to the back side of the circle, up over the top. Back side of the circle, up over the top and forward. Continue. Again, if the head and neck want to slightly adjust, allow for it. Break loose this physical tissue prison that the body can become. Liberating your movement. And we switch arms. Forward, up, back, down. Continue. Feel that shoulder blade and how it slides around. Switching directions. Back and up, forward and down. Again, the head and neck, whatever it feels like doing while you're liberating that shoulder blade. And finish. Now, what we add, we lean and round forward, shoulder blades come forward, arms slightly float forward. Shoulder blades come up, elbows follow as we lean back, pull back, open across the chest, and release back to neutral. Again. So what we're getting a feeling for here is this hydraulic movement, this fluid body. Right? We're leaning and flowing. We're sort of round movements. Let the arms go where they need to go because of that shoulder blade movement. Last one. Switch directions. We swing back. Shoulder blades up and over. Back. Shoulder blades up and over. Back. Rolling. Just like that wave. And neutral. Right shoulder blade forward up, then as it goes back and down, left shoulder blade forward and up. And then right shoulder blade forward and up. Go for it. Alternating. So a little brain challenge, as well as this movement really wrings out all that tissue across the neck, shoulders, chest, thoracic spine. It's like wringing out a rag. Go the other way. Wring it out. And finish. Step your legs further apart. Left hand on right knee. Lean over, kind of like we did earlier. Hang this right arm. Circles. Feel the ball and socket where your arm bone is in the socket, and then turn from there. Turn from there. Maybe they get larger circles. If that's feeling pretty open, know that you could now sit upright and the same direction circle now, instead of drawing on the floor, draws on the wall. Make sure every time the arm comes through, it's soft. So it goes on a journey, soft. Goes on a journey, soft. One more. And let it hang. Lean over, circle the other way. So that's on you to track which way did you go, and now go the other way. As that circle gets bigger, if it felt good to sit upright, give it a shot here. See how that feels? Soft. It's got to be soft. Soft and easy. The joints love soft and easy. And let it hang. Switch. Lean over. Circle. Just pick a direction. Start the circle. And larger as you'd like. And then sitting upright. And switch. Circle the other way. And circle. So we're just liberating, right? Liberating our brain, our joints, all of it. And let it hang. Good. Fold at both elbows. Compress those elbows. Relax those elbows. Do that twice more. Compress like you're squishing a little sesame seed in there, and then relax. And feel that relaxed quality of the elbows. That's important. One more. Compress and relax. Now, as you let your hands go down, don't lose that feeling in the elbows. That's a sort of elusive Tai Chi feeling. A lot of times people are either bending or locking at the elbows, but we want to do neither. There's this happy zone right in there. Now, rise with the hands. Notice my elbows are neither forced out nor forced back. They're in this little happy zone. This is important. And then release down. Do that again. Rise. Soft hands. Notice how limp and relaxed the hands are. Fingertips heavy and down. Now, rise and unfurl. Notice how my wrists are still heavy. And then relax. Notice how the fingertips follow as we go down. Rise. Unfurl. All right, so we're tracing, or rather blazing, pathways of movement. Feel that wheel-like quality. One more. Good. Turn your palms face up. Now bend at the elbows, create a little 90-degree angle. Turn palms down and up. Just feel pronation and supination, which is the two forearm bones in your forearm, two bones, rolling, sort of corkscrewing slightly. Now turn both palms up and fold at your wrist. So notice that I'm folding pretty deeply at the wrist joint. So often when I'm teaching this, I see people do a lot of stuff at the fingers and they're not folding at the wrist. So fold, then circle out. Notice my fingers did not bend. My hands are still very soft, and yet I can trace these circles. Circle. Other direction. Turn the palms out. Soft wrists. Circle. So when you go out, you got to spin them and then bring them down and back, pointing to you. Spin them, spin them, spin them. Circles. We're just tracing all the circles of the body. And release. Now, the crane beak. Open. Now think of like an octopus where its mouth is, or a squid. And look at my fingers. They're straight as can be. And they go to touch. So look what I'm doing there, right? So see that point. So let's all take one index finger and touch that point, and then try to wrap around that point to create that crane beak. And crane beak, right? Open. Crane beak. Right? See what that's doing for all these bones in the hands. This is that anti-carpal tunnel work, anti-arthritic work. And other side. Take your index finger, touch that squid mouth, right? And create that little suction. And you can keep the finger there if you'd like, if that helps you. Just keep doing that. Right? Or take it away. Crane beak. So all fingers meet the thumb. and release. Shake it out. Well done. Palms face forward, up. Lift your chest, your chin, arch the back, and then pull your elbows down and slightly behind you, activating those upper back muscles, middle back muscles. Then the hands come slightly up, make a claw into a fist, wrap your arms around, press, and round. And open. Now can you add the inhale? Inhale here. Pulling those elbows down and back, hold that breath, hold. Exhale, claw into a fist, wrap those arms and compress the front, close. One more, inhale. It's called opening and closing. A lymphatic pump as well as all the joints we just warmed up being utilized in a somewhat complicated way. Inhale, now just open to the middle and arms down. Scoot to the back of your chair so that you're feeling stable. Make Tai Chi fists. The idea of a Tai Chi fist is not compressed, but with a little bit of space in there, almost like you're holding a very thin sword handle. Tai Chi fist. Now, like a boxer, hands up. Bring one knee up and the heel tucks in towards the buttock. It's called chamber. And then set it down, change. Chamber, set it down, change, chamber, set it down, chamber, set it down. Now, chamber, express the power through the heel, re-chamber, set it down. Chamber, express the spring-loaded power, chamber, down. Chamber, express, it's a front push kick in martial arts. It's also just one of the most basic functions of our legs is to load, unload, reload again. And finally, hold, point, flex, point, flex, point, flex. Now, slight in, out, in. It's called evert, invert of the foot and ankle. Then circle, in circle, in circle. And then out circle. And re-chamber, switch legs. Chamber, push, point, flex. Now, for any reason your back doesn't like this, the leg can go way down low. It can be a lot less straining, but some of you might feel like you want to hold it up and kind of work the quad, hip flexor. Evert, invert, a little in, out, circles, in circle. Out circle. And re-chamber, down. Scoot to the front edge of your chair, all the way. Really get those legs out over, look how much my leg is over the floor. So only my buttock bones are on that chair. Now lift left ball of foot, swivel on the heel. Knee and toes point out. Lift the heel, swivel, put the knee and toes to point in. Lift the toes, turn out, external. Lift the heel, internal. Finally, open. Go back in, internal, lift the heel, external, lift the toes, internal, lift the heel, external, neutral. Let's walk it out again. Open, close. Open, close, hold open, and walk it in. Internal, external. All the way back in. Last one, go out and hold it out. And hold. Now slide those hands. Press your knees open. And then massage that inner thigh out to the knee. A lot of times when we do this, we'll feel cords of tension pulling on the knees. So you want to massage that cord out, release the tension so the knee joint feels happy and loose and free. Bring it in. Internal, external. All the way back. Other side. 3 times out and in. 2, and open, internal, external. Key to doing this one good is move from ball and socket joint in the hip, right? So the pelvis, pretty much a stable unit. Everything else is stable, and then the moving piece is this loose leg, this free leg. And now open and hold, slide out those hands, press and establish a nice range, and then massage in your thigh. Find those lines, those chords. Find their end point in the knee if you're feeling any of that tension. And then let's walk it in. Internal, external. Neutral. So that was our legs as the moving part, hips as the stable piece. Now it's legs as the stable piece, hips the moving part. Folding, hinging at the hips. So this one we're accustomed with, and we added something to it. I'd like to show you guys. We added last week, but I think some of you missed that. So watch what I do here. Watch my hands and my arms. So I fold, and then with my arms, I'm rotating. Notice this movement I just did, and just keep watching. So I'm folding, and I'm trying to see how much of that rotation I can create. Opens the back. Then sit back up, arms back to neutral. So the arms are doing a full rotation internal, and then a full rotation back. You got to time it together. So we're folding at the hips, rotating those arms. Oh, find a happy place in there. And again, do two more. And what's a really good thing, if you can get in there and feel that that stretch right in the mid back and shoulders, stay for a little bit. Stay and kind of wiggle. Wiggle loose where your barnacles are stuck, maybe in the head and neck or the middle back or the shoulders, and then rise. It's like wringing out a rag. One more. And we're back to neutral. All right, and then we have, watch this next one, watch the whole time down and the whole time up, and then join me. We lift and arch. Fold, and then here's the key, round. Let the head, the neck, the shoulders hang. Then stay rounded when you come up. That's the key there. See how I'm rounded? And then once I'm up, then I lift, elbows come back, and I arch, and then I fold, staying arch, and then I round. Go ahead and join me when you're ready. We'll do a few of these called shaking loose. The heavenly pillar, all 5 lumbar, all 12 thoracic, all 7 neck vertebrae, and the skull. All of it just sort of undulating, sort of serpentine, snake-like undulation for the spine. Let's do one more. One more. And finally arriving back at neutral. Just take 3 breaths here. Sometimes this can create a little lightheadedness, wooziness. Other times, especially if you get comfortable with it, it creates this sort of chi boost to the brain. You get this sort of like light beam quality because you've loosened up wherever it's stuck, and you just get this really nice sort of wash to the brain. All right, now step the feet wider, big, nice, wide stance. We've already prepped the hips, we've prepped the spine, we prepped our shoulders a little bit. Now, when you fold, watch me do this. Notice this internally weird rotated position of the arms. We do that again. We're sort of plugged into the legs. And then drop in there and fold. And notice again, you get another range of exploration. And then rise up. And do that again. So we're not just folding at the hips and our arms are here. Now we're actually dropping the head and rib cage into the shoulder blades or through the shoulder blades so you get that stretch. And then we come back up. Now watch me do this next one, and then you'll join me in a moment. I set that whole thing up and stay. Then I'm letting my left elbow drop a little forward and I'm turning to the right. Oh, a little twist. And then back to center and light twist. So go ahead and join me down there. Folding, dropping yourself in, get comfortable, and then do that rotation there where you think, oh, how do I do this? It's kind of weird, but how do I do it in a way that feels good? That feels like I'm actually wringing out somewhere that needs it. Oh, you're not pinching the joints. You're not forcing something that's telling you no, but you are going into some of that muck, that rigidity, that chassis of tension. And then finally back to the middle, rising up. And our last one in this position sort of puts it all together. Turning slightly to your right, that's a light twist. Folding like we did. Then we're scooping through over to the other side, coming all the way back and coming around. The dragon stirs the sea with its tail. Big movements, freeing your body from feeling like it's in this sort of small range. Once you've done 3 one way, other way, big swoop. Once you get the basic choreography, then you add on the poetry of dragon. Stirs the sea. If you kind of envision yourself as the dragon, it informs the movement in this interesting way. And we're back to neutral. Legs come in. Final thing with the arms, float. Some of you won't be able to do this next part. If that's the case, then do what you can or just sit it out. Turn the palms up. Reach. Reach. Now, once you've got your reach, shoulder blades go a little bit more into upward rotation. My right hand now reaches higher than the left. And then I relax that and do left hand slightly higher than the right. A few more. So it looks like I'm swaying my body, which I am, but the key is that I'm not swaying my body as the primary movement. I'm reaching the arm higher and the sway is happening because of that. And then I'm reaching the other arm and the sway is happening because of that. Finally, both arms, reach, reach, reach. Reach, try to touch the sky. And then sweep those arms out, down. Now, final time here. Arms forward, up to shoulder height. Then we keep going. And we keep going. And now I lift the chest, lift the heart, arch the back, create a back bend that feels invigorating. A rainbow arch of the spine. And then releasing that effort. Returning arms down. And we do one, what's called sink chi to the belly. Arms float, turn the palms up, make a nice circle. And then like magnets guiding your life force that you just let out to play in the playground of your body, return home, which is 2.5 inches deep in to the belly button. So your mind rests there, your hands sort of guide the life force there. And let's take 3 really great breaths right here. Holding, exhaling when it's time, keeping the mind dropped down into that raw power center of the belly. One more quality breath. And release your hands down. Now make sure once again you're scooted to the edge of the chair. Back your feet up just a little bit behind your knees. The key to standing up is this fold that we did earlier. Head beyond your toes. Then push straight through the earth, and like a spring that's unloading, your body just goes vertical. Stay there for a moment. Now, to sit down, a lot of times people either do this first, they turn and look, or they sit into their knees first like that, or they fall backwards into their chair. But we want to do none of that. What we want to do is fold and stick the booty back. So let's just do just that movement for a second with no bend of your knees, and then back. So notice you're displacing your hips behind your heels, your head and shoulders in front, and then back. Now do that, and then let that lead into sitting and sitting upright. Now the opposite, fold, gesturing energy forward, and then push through the earth, you rise. Fold, sink, and land. 2 more. Some of you will feel like you can just flow, almost like it's just one gesture instead of a forward and then up. And same thing here, you might just feel it sinks. It's just one gesture, like an accordion, sort of unfolding and refolding. Now, when you refold, don't sit in your chair. Get as low as you can, and then there's a scorpion on your chair, so you come back up. Again, sink, fold that accordion up, and then unfold. Again, sink, this time hold. Stay there. Isometric contraction is what is happening in your legs right now. You're not going anywhere, you're not rising, nor are you falling, but you feel fatigue, you feel warmth, you feel heat, you feel the muscles working just to keep you there, builds up a charge, and then let's rise and feel that charge circulate. One more. So they say legs are the reservoirs of our life force, along with the belly, but the legs hold a lot. So now we're tapping into that. We want these legs to be good reservoirs where we can draw the energy as needed, store it as needed. Strong legs also need to be supple. All right, now we're standing. Tai Chi squats. I'll turn slightly sideways. Lock your knees back. So do the wrong thing here. Lock your knees. Notice what you feel in your sacrum and tailbone. And then slightly unlock your knees and notice what you feel in your sacrum and tailbone. Do that again. Lock your knees. If you pay close attention, you'll feel right now your tail sort of flares up and there's a jam. There's like a stuckness there. And then you just softly open the knees and let that stuckness go through. Notice that I'm rising slightly. And then I'm sinking slightly, but my butt, I'm not sticking it back like that at all. So that's key for the Tai Chi position, is don't stick your butt back. Final time, sink and stay. Tai Chi arms, rising like you're painting a wall in front of you with the back of your hands. Hands float back towards your shoulders. Remember this position where the elbows are neither out nor back. They're happily right there. And then gently, like you're pressing something down. Again, paint the wall in front, soft wrists, heavy fingertips, over the top of a circle like they're just gliding back towards your shoulders, and then pressing softly down. One more like that. This is the energies of Pung, rising, and the energy of An, or trough of a wave, or sinking. Now, remember this position, we rose up close to the body. We unfurl the hands out, and then this is called Lu, gliding, sliding something back and down. Do that again. Rise, unfurl, slide. Now one of each back to back. Pung, slide back, on, press. Then float up and out and Lu. One more just like that. Crane flaps wings, hands slightly circled in. Big. Here, the feeling is a balloon in the shoulder. And then that balloon just gently releases. Fill the balloon with chi. Release the balloon. This is to help us learn to let go of the arm and move it from its appropriate place. Too often people's shoulders are frozen, stuck. There is no balloon, and then they just move with tension and grind away the joints. So the more you can feel like, oh, it's like levitation. Easy. There's also a beauty to it, a grace to it. Now, hands come up like this little position here, up. Elbows come close. Then reach up and out. This is a way of unwinding the tension of the head, neck, and shoulders. Up. Do one more. Sort of like we're swimming. And then the opposite of that, crane wing, this important term, roll fold. Roll is turn your palms up. Fold is just fold at your elbows. And the hands come down. That is one term. So let's see if we can do it as if it's one. Lift, and then right about at the top, it's roll fold. And notice how that just flows right over the top of it and down. Once more, lift, roll fold, and down. Now, lift to the wings. Now we do one arm, right arm, roll, fold, other arm sweeps under. And then reverse that. Back to the wings, other arm over top. Reverse that. It's called embrace the moon. One more. And back to the wings. And down. Now notice as you're standing that you're using both legs to keep you up. Shift more of your body weight to your right leg. And feel how when the right leg becomes your only standing leg, it works a little harder, but the other leg works a little less. Or even eventually it empties completely. And then shift to the middle, feel the 50-50 state. And then put your body weight over to the other leg and feel how that becomes your yang or full leg, the other your empty leg, yin. 50-50 and 100-0 if you can. Notice as you're doing this, are you tensing up in your upper body? That's common. We start to grab into one or both shoulders. We start to hold on up here. And all that does is it uproots you. You uproot yourself from your connection to the ground. So try to empty the shoulders. That's what all these movements did for us, is help to empty that. And now allow you to just sort of leisurely shift and change your body weight. Now as you shift once more to your left, stay in the left leg, and then just from your belly button, turn your belly button to point to the right. I'm sorry, to the left. Now stay pointed to the left as you shift to 50-50 and then over to the other leg. Lost someone there. And then once you're over there, turn the belly button to center and left. Keep it pointed left as you shift to the middle, right. I'm sorry, I said lefts and right backwards. Turn to your left as you're in your left leg. Now stay left, pointed left, as you shift to the right and then turn to the right. Shift to the left, turn to the left. Shift to the right, turn to the right. Now let your arms be softer. Let go of doing anything. Do nothing at all, to the point where they start to accidentally sweep through the space like this. And that's because they're not made of steel, and it's because they are fluid filled, and they're part of the whole hydraulic network that is our body. So they will naturally start doing what's called the bear washes pause. in the stream. The basic key to this pose is that when we're going left, both palms point left and you're sweeping the water across. Then they change that position, and now as I shift and turn right, they both point to the right. And then I'm shifting and turning, and they both are pointing left. Last, we'll do 3 more, and what you just want to see is whatever you're executing with the hands, can you now do it with less? Eventually, you only want to be adding maybe 0.000001% awareness or effort to the hands. Just to say, oh yeah, I'm aware that they're there, and I'm aware that I'm sort of putting that poetry of the bear washing paws, but not a whole bunch of tension. They have to flow, they have to swing like pendulums. Now, put the left hand behind your back, just the right hand. Comes across, this is called brush knee. Crane wing, roll fold, right? So now all that is stuff that we're familiar with. Now shift, turn the belly button, that will allow the hand to push across. That's the first push we've done. The hand drops down and now it's dipped into the stream, the bear paw. Shift and turn, brush knee, crane wing, roll fold, shift, turn, push. So the shift and the turn is what brings that hand through. One more. Shift, turn, brush knee. Shift, turn, push. As the right hand drops down, bring the left hand out, we come across. Bear paws. And then wrap right hand behind your back. Now it's left hand only. Brush knee, crane wing, roll fold. Soft, heavy fingertips. Shift, turn, and push across. And then let it circle drop down. Shift, turn, brush knee. Crane wing, roll fold, it's loaded like a spring that's loaded, and we're going shift, turn, push. Shift, turn, brush, wing, roll fold. Shift, turn, push. Now, as the left hand drops down, right hand floats up, roll fold. Now we're loaded for shift turns called brush knee and push. Hands change, roll fold, shift, turn, brush knee, and push. Shift, turn, brush knee, and push. One more. Now bring the left hand down, keep the right hand down, do a standing bear, another standing bear, and then settle to the middle, right in the middle. Now I want to teach a new hand movement, the one I was doing at the beginning of class. So there's something new for everyone. It's called the parting of the wild horse's mane. So the way I like to teach it, I'll show you the phases. So the first exercise is wrap right hand behind your back. Shift and turn slightly to your right. Left hand is the bottom of a circle, right? So remember this move, the left hand is that bottom piece. The key to this one is that the hand moves away from the body. And then as we shift and turn, it goes in an upward saber arc to the opposite top corner, right? So it was here down at the bottom hip, and now it's up here. How it got there is key. Turn the left hand out. Now you recognize that. The crane wing comes down. We shift and turn. You recognize this. That's sweeping the leg. You make the little ball at the bottom. Now the hand has to go away from the body as we shift and turn. I always say it's like you have a little candle in your hand and you're taking it up to offer it here because the palm has to stay up. Then turn the palm away as it sweeps down. It's a wing and a sweep the leg. Again, this is called flying diagonal when it's done by itself. Right? And we'll do one more. This one is actually, again, these all look very simple, but what it's asking of the shoulder and the torso and everything is quite interesting because it's across, there's a slight shoulder rotation. It's a hold of the arm in this position. It's taking a very interesting track or path through space. Let's do that to the other side. So bring the right hand out, sweep the bear, wrap the left hand. Now the right hand is at the bottom of that ball. And the hand has to go away from the body. And then as we shift, it travels that interesting diagonal up to the corner. Turn the palm away. Crane wing sweeps down and across the lake. Bottom of the ball. Hand has to go away from the body, and then it's ready to travel that flying diagonal. Turn the palm away. Sweep down. Because oftentimes what happens with this is people start sweeping the hand kind of like a big crane wing to get there, and it's not that. You got to really see that it goes away and up. And this is actually a martial art move. It's got a lot of applications in martial arts and push hands and things like that. One more. Shifting, turning, flying diagonal. And sweep. Bring that hand out, the other hand out, come back to the middle. Now, this is the next step. Left hand under, right hand on top. Make a little ball. Now, what you practice here is both hands moving in opposition to each other, but at the same time. On a parallel line, that parallel line is parallel to the floor right now, but it's not going to be in a moment. But just feel that you could go, okay, you could do it very small, or you could really let those hands travel, fully expressing, right? Now, what happens if we take these two parallel lines and turn them on a slight diagonal? Now the bottom hand is doing that move we were just working on. The top hand is doing the other part, which is sometimes hard to get, right? So this is called parting the wild horse's mane. I like to think of it as, I don't know what they mean by parting it, but stroking it, right? Stroking the under and top side of this beautiful horse's mane, right? So now the next difficult part is, remember, embrace the moon. Right palm up, left palm faces away. Left hand does that crane wing, right hand rises and folds over top, and we're back to our ball. Part the wild horse's mane. Then left palm faces away, right palm faces up, and back to the ball. Shift to your right, turn to your right, part wild horse's mane, shifting left, turning left, arrive, switch the palm position, so left palm away, right palm up, reverse, as you shift and turn and gather. Shift and turn, part wild horse's mane. The difficulty here is, can both hands be held in your awareness the entire time? Right? Oftentimes what I see is people, one arm is moving, the other one is just stuck in space, or it just hangs by the side, totally disconnected. So much of Tai Chi is this, is going slow enough and holding all the moving parts all at once. And that does something to our brain that is fabulous. Just really lights up our motor centers, and it's also very calming. Last time we go to the ball, and then bring the right hand down, left hand turns, stand bare, back to the middle, and bring right hand under, left hand over. First gesture, start very small. Both hands holding both in your awareness, traveling those parallel lines. Getting longer, letting the movement express to its endpoints. All the way to its endpoints. On the next one, turn those parallel lines on a diagonal. So bottom hand is going from bottom to top, other one top to bottom, and reverse. You're tracing the lines. Another key to this is this idea that the palms are still feeling the top of the mane and the bottom of the mane, right? You're not breaking that relationship of one on top, one on the bottom. Now, holding here, turn right palm away, left palm up to the ball. Part the wild horse's mane. Turn the palms away, one out, one up. shifting left, turning slightly left. Part the wild horse's mane, shifting right, turning your belly button slightly right. Turn those palms, shifting left, turning belly button slightly left, and just flow through it. See if you can manage all the parts. There's this sort of brain state where all the parts are in your purview. You're able to both sense the left fingertips and the right fingertips, both shoulders, the weight shifting, which leg is full, which is empty, all at once in a certain state of the brain. And that state of the brain is a magical and healing state for the nervous system. It also really gets our brain lit up. Now, our last challenge of the day, part wild horse mane. Once you get to the end of it, stay. Bring this left hand through the lake, right hand on top, staying in your right leg, and then we go back the other way. Part the wild horse's mane. Right hand through the lake, left hand folds on top, part wild horse's mane. And this is a very nice flow, but yet it still feels a little stuck. I'm sure you guys may notice. Eventually, when we do this while doing the Tai Chi walk, it is just one of the most beautiful movements. It just feels so satisfying to the nerves. We got to get the choreography down first. Last one. Now, sweep that hand across, make the ball, and then left hand comes down, right hand turns. Use the standing bear as your journey back home. Once more, sink the chi to the belly. Crane wing, roll fold. Sink the magnetic hands, guide the mind, the gaze, the listening, the life force, everything to that 2.5 inches deep to the belly button, central battery. Breathe. We finish the practice by sealing, one hand over the navel, other hand over that hand, like a cork in a wine barrel. And then we close with the Taoist bow, one hand with the thumb extended, grab, fold over those knuckles softly. Create a little yin-yang symbol, and then thank you all. All right. So your chair hopefully is where you think it is. Have a seat. I know some of you have places to be. You can just say bye and then wander off. Others of you may have some questions, comments, concerns, or whatever. So feel free. Unmute yourself. Let me know what's going on.
Otto, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I heard many of my bones crunching when I'm doing all the exercises. Is that good or bad or just indifferent or?
Well, it depends how much pain is involved. And also, is it the actual bones crunching or is it the tissue that's become sort of barnacled that's crunching? A lot of times it's hard to tell the difference. Pain is sort of an indicator, and not even just pain, but what kind of pain, what's the flavor? Because oftentimes that pain that's like, oh yeah, is good. But other stuff is like, whoa, no, I shouldn't do more of that. And so you're saying in all of these movements, or in the neck, or the shoulder blades, or all the above?
There's no pain.
No pain. So yeah, I would say explore, because again, what happens to our body over time is the tissue. Again, it's kind of a morbid term, but pre-rigor mortis is this term I think about a lot, is saying in our body is this tissue that's already moving in the direction of, and this is what the Taoists say, tighter, stuck, rigid, it's moving that way. And so you want to engage. You want to go, oh, get that loosened up, soften it, like knead it out as much as you can. as long as the pain isn't of that certain quality where your body's like, you need to stop doing that. That's pinching a nerve and whatnot.
Uh-huh.
So I say, go for it, Sally, and let me know how it feels as you explore it.
Okay.
What do you think?
Definitely.
Thank you, Otto.
Definitely.
Yeah. Thanks, Stanley.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else, Sally?
Let's see. Do you have anything specific? I have some kind of a GI issue, and my doctor doesn't want to give it a name yet, and it hurts. And
Yeah.
so, what can I do?
Well, that's interesting. I mean, the GI, I'm not entirely sure. I know the gastrointestinal, but I'm not sure what you mean by the pain. Is it the location or the quality? Like it's internal, it's digestive? Because there's certain things I would not have much to say about in terms of, if it's GI, it's probably nutritional or something. But if it's like,
more like irritable bowel.
oh, interesting. Yeah.
This one place, it always
Yeah.
comes here. And
Yeah, I don't have too much insight there. Except I do know that healing, if you do have sort of I don't know if it's ulcer-like, or if it's just sort of an irritated state, checking your diet in terms of things that maybe aggravate it, possible appendicitis issue or whatever it may be, right?
it's not
So
that.
yeah. So, and then I would say it's got something to do, the thing they talk about is healing. Broth is often healing, like good bone broth,
Okay.
and being in a state of relaxation. So, laying on your back, hands on your belly, like this area of our hands, especially when we're calm, relaxed, and we've got our good chi flow going, very healing, right? Healing hands, we all have them. So letting your hands, when you're on your back, just kind of find where they want to be while doing breath and relaxation, so that you shift your nervous system into what's called parasympathetic. You may know that term. We have sympathetic nervous system arousal, fight, flight, stress. And then we have like, yeah, baby, like, oh, in a bath, totally relaxed. And so we want to become masters of turning that sort of state on, and then existing in that state, so that whatever healing your body can do with your irritable bowel or anywhere else that's injured, that's where that healing happens, right? So hopefully that's helpful.
And I am amazed I have not had so many things wrong at one time, but I think I have bursitis. And
Wow.
Is there anything special for bursitis in my hips?
Yeah. That's interesting. It's like bursitis is like an inflammation of the area, and like sort of fluid in the area. And I've had clients who've been suffering from that, and something that's been helpful is, again, sort of not weight bearing intense movement, but like range of motion in a very soft way. So like laying on your back, opening the hips up, bringing them together, not where the muscles are like this, but where everything's soft, and then you're moving that joint around in a way that can move the fluid on. And again, same idea about healing, right? The bursitis is a sign of some like inflammation, right? And it's upset. Like anything with an itis, you think inflammation, fire, right? So soothing, calming, bath. I don't know if you can take a nice warm bath, but
I've already done that.
Yeah.
I had two falls.
What's that?
I had two falls.
Oh, there you go.
So that's what caused it. But
there you
so
go.
I'm just trying, something different. Do you have another class that you teach, a group class?
I don't at the moment. I have shoot me an email. I'll give you a connection. I have this other class I teach Wednesday at 11:15. It's a bit more complicated, so I don't know how what we've done here landed with you, but I don't have a class at this level right now. So, yeah.
Okay, I will.
Thanks, Sally.
Okay.
Anything else from anyone? Sharon or Phyllis? Or
I just want to say this was really wonderful. Thank you so much.
It is.
Great, Sharon. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad it
Felt really good.
yeah, I know it's something. Once you get a feel for it and you start to let it, take over a bit, It's pretty
Yeah.
powerful stuff. So
Yeah.
Thank you.
yeah, thanks.
Have a good weekend.
Donna, anything?
Yeah, it was great. I really enjoyed it.
Cool.
One thing I was wondering is, do you recommend certain movements that help to promote deep sleep? Because sometimes I go to bed and my body's kind of revved up, and
Yeah.
I try and take a nice soothing tea,
Yep.
but sometimes I'm thinking there might be some just meditative movements that I could do that would help get me into that sleep mode.
Definitely, yeah. And I think light has an important piece. Maybe you already do that, but if you don't have like low light lights or like lamps or like little electrical candle or something like that, so that when it gets around, time, you don't have any of the bright lights on. You can just flip everything to the dimmer setting, and that already starts it. And then the computer and phone thing really messes with the sleep. I don't know if you're doing any of that, but that's a huge one in terms of when we should be seeing nothing but dim. And then we get this, it's like it really takes our melatonin and F's with it.
Right.
So that's to be considered. And then movement wise, one of the things I teach, I don't teach a group class with it, but a lot of my private clients, what I do is I teach them